When Marcus noticed that his son was taking longer than usual to return home from school, he sensed that something was amiss. Alarm bells rang in his head when he discovered that his son suddenly had no pocket money for toys or treats. Concerned, he decided to secretly follow him one day, only to uncover something that horrified him. Josh Folks, just 8 years old at the time, lived with his parents in rural Philippines. Despite his young age, Josh was remarkably responsible. He walked to and from school each day, but as he began arriving home later and later, Marcus realized something unusual was happening. Marcus Folks was a hard-working man. He had a small business as a car mechanic, but some months were better than others. If he wanted to feed his family, he would have to throw himself into work. He knew that nothing in life comes for free. However, when his son started running away after school, he realized he had made a mistake. Although the middle-class family sometimes struggled, Marcus always gave his son a small allowance. It was important to teach him the value of money from a young age. Oddly enough, Josh had been broke for the last 2 weeks. Where did the money go? When Marcus discovered what his son was spending his money on, he set off a chain of events that would change their lives forever. After 2 weeks of his son's strange behavior, Marcus's curiosity began to consume him. He had had enough. Today, he cleverly left the garage door open while he worked so he would know exactly when Josh would return home. However, he was a little disappointed when he saw his son walking down the path just in time. He watched as the boy quietly opened the door and ran inside. Just 10 minutes later, Josh appeared again. He walked back down the road, and Marcus noticed that he still had his school backpack slung over his shoulders. But why? The way the backpack sagged told the eagle-eyed father that it was empty. Giving Josh a slight head start, he followed him. When the boy walked into the local grocery store, his curious father watched him from a distance and waited for him to appear again. When he did, the suspicious backpack was sticking out. Josh then turned left and continued walking down the road. Corner caves gave way to pawn shops, scrap yards, and liquor stores as he ventured further into the rougher part of town. Marcus's suspicions grew as he followed him. It was definitely not a suitable place for a little boy. As Josh turned onto a side road, Marcus followed close behind, trying to stay out of his sight. He looked around the corner and was amazed to see his son standing in the middle of the empty road. He watched as the boy slowly crouched down and pulled something out of his backpack. Marcus observed what was happening, puzzled. Then he heard a soft noise and noticed movement in the bushes on both sides of the road. Suddenly, 3 animals jumped out of their hiding places. They began to dart and circle around the cowering boy. Marcus didn't know what to make of what he saw, but suddenly the spell was broken. His instincts kicked in, and he started running. Marcus ran up to Josh and began chasing the dogs away. But then he realized that disposable plates and cans of dog food were strewn on the ground. The poor stray dogs were not in the best condition. They were clearly malnourished and had patches of fur missing. "I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I was really disgusted," Marcus admitted. However, his son was about to teach him a valuable lesson. The puppies, which Josh named Brownie, White, and Black, happily pounced on the food, wagging their tails. Josh looked up and saw his father's stern face. He knew he had to explain something to him. The little boy confessed everything, explaining that he had used his pocket money to buy as much food as he could every day for 2 weeks when he came here to feed the stray dogs. Marcus was amazed. He knew he had to share what he had witnessed. In February 2014, Marcus took a now famous photo of his son feeding stray animals and posted it online, where it soon caught the attention of animal lovers around the world. "My son has completely changed my perspective," he wrote. Marcus was touched by his son's selfless actions, but was concerned about Josh's health. Thus, father and son came to a compromise. Since the dogs were strays, Marcus was worried that they might carry diseases such as mange. He told his son that he would buy dog food on the street on one condition. Josh would have to get a rabies shot, and carry disinfectant in his backpack. Meanwhile, Marcus's post was gaining popularity. Father and son could never foresee the world's reaction. When Josh told his father that his dream was to eventually open an animal shelter, Marcus laughed at his son's outlandish ambition. He gently pointed out that it would take a lot of money and time before Josh's dream could become a reality. But then the internet intervened. After seeing the incredible response to his post, Marcus decided to create a website for Josh called the Happy Animal Club. He also allowed Josh to take the puppies home to care for them, and soon they were running a small shelter in their garage. Marcus helped Josh post updates to his website, and the response has been phenomenal. I love animals. I have a rescue dog, and I rescue cats. Ever since I can remember, I've wanted to open an animal shelter to help homeless dogs and cats on the streets, young Josh shares on his website. The main goal of the club is to rescue dogs from the city shelter. A shelter spokesman said most of the dogs are euthanized, and no animal welfare organization does anything about it. Donations began to arrive from supporters all over the world. Josh and his father were able to lease a 1,000 square meter plot of land for a year, purchasing building materials and hiring builders. After several months of hard work, the full-size Happy Animals Club was opened. The shelter currently has 2 large enclosures, 2 apartments, and an extension. Years later, Josh entered his teenage years and continued to nurture his passion for helping animals. His animal shelter expanded significantly, thanks to the dedicated volunteers who assisted Josh and his family in its operation. Once the right conditions were established, Josh began rescuing kittens and cats from the surrounding area. He maintains a comprehensive list of animals available for adoption, ensuring that he can find loving homes for each of his charges. Dear viewers, what do you think about this story? Please tell us in the comments. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel. Also subscribe and press the L icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.